Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance, and you are looking at an Object 261 Tier 10 Soviet SPG, and it's being driven by mithe, and he's on the south spawn of Cliff. And it's the usual traffic jam right at the start of the battle, and mithe knocks down the camp assembly. I don't know what you call that thing actually, the structure right at the start, which is a good idea because it can be used to hide behind, but that's a bad move. He actually knocks down a tree, telling the enemy Arty where he is actually going to be located or where to look for the tracer. Okay, he's extended his aim and he's looking for targets. Okay, there's somebody making their way up the hill. I think mithe's ignoring that. He's not going to go for a shot on them. He is the only Arty in this battle apart from his opposite number. And his opposite number is a Batchat 15558. So that's the auto-loading French Tier 10 SPG. Okay, the enemies managed to make their way up on top of the hill. There are a couple down at the bottom. So 121, a TVP. Okay, looks like he's going to go for the 121. Fires around in and relocates straight away. 137 hit points. Now, because he's facing an autoloader, he will need to relocate pretty promptly because even if they miss him with the first shot, he might be able to get another shot in directly afterwards. And he's almost reloaded. His 18cm gun. His howitzer, and he's about ready to shoot, and rounds out, and he gets a direct hit on the E100. 371 hit points, and he's moving. He's backing up just in case that Batchat was watching. Okay, there's the tank that's right on top of the hill. Looks like it's a T100 LT, one of those Soviet light tanks. IS-7 was wrecked there, an enemy IS-7. Okay, it's a Leopard, and he fires a round in, and he stuns the 113 and the Leopard 1, but unfortunately he doesn't do any damage, so just 6 damage for the Leopard. And he's relocated, just in case. There's a whole gaggle of tanks now around the base of the hill. And there's a Leopard there opposing them, and also a 121 on their own team. But he's decided to go after the tanks over the around the water side of the cliff. Rounds out. T57. He gets a good hit on the T57 heavy. 322 hit points. Good solid strike, and he's relocating. Doesn't need to move far. He's moved behind the tree, and it means he can still get hits on the enemy tanks. That position as well as the ones in the pass. Okay, it's an Object 907. He's almost reloaded. I think that's his next target. Rounds out, and that was a splash. 191 hit points. He's knocking down a few trees, but that might actually act as a distraction for the Batchat. That might make the Batchat think, I'll fire at those trees, and of course he's not there. Okay, E100 going into the pass. He's almost reloaded. It's facing off against the T124. You get that round into the side, that'll be a big help. Rounds out, and he stuns the E100, does 182 splash, and he's moved, relocated. He hasn't moved very far though. Okay, he's picked up some stun assist as well, so that's been good. It's difficult for him to hit those because they're on the opposite side of the hill, but he can hit the ones that are pushing the around the cliff route, which or the cliffside route. There's that T57 there heavy that he hit earlier. I think that's going to be his next target. Rounds out. Lovely hit! Directly into the side. 312 hit points. Okay, 113. Direct hit, 199 this time. And he's relocating quite a lot this time around, because there's no enemy between him, there's no friends other than the T-124 and the Leopard 1 between him and the enemy tanks that are now pressing on his cap. So he needs to get into some solid cover to provide him with a little bit of camo. Okay, there's a T-124 and he gets a direct hit there, 292 hit points this time, but he's going to have to back up and go backwards and forwards amongst the bushes to ensure that he's not spotted. Unfortunately, this area where he's located right now is very, very frequently used by Arty, and so the Batchat might look for him in there, and they might see his tracer. They know who he's firing at, because the tanks that are coming around the cliffside are the only ones that survived. Okay, the 113, going back to that again, but it's taken out. Unfortunately, his shell would have hit, but it's killed before the shell arrived. Okay, so it appears that the enemy has captured the east part of the map. That's the cliff itself, the lighthouse right at the top, the cliff, and they're almost encroaching on the other side of the cliff there, on the near side, whilst the rest of Mithe's team have actually taken the west side. Except, of course, for this FV4005. And a lovely strike there, 349 and 4 critical hits. That's made a huge difference, but that, they call it the ship barn, but rather bad term to use for it, but there again, that is the term that is used, is a tremendous danger, but they've taken most of the hit points away, so they fired a round in their blind, but he did actually take out the... Well, no, he didn't take it out. Actually, it was the SDRV-103 took out the T-57 Heavy. Now, he knocked down a tree there as he turned around, but he is actually pulling away from that spot. So, again, that might be a decoy to the enemy Batchat to say to the Batchat, fire at the tree. And, of course, he's not there. Now, that T-100LT that was on top of the hill has come down now and is doing a bit of scouting. He's trying to find the enemy tanks that are actually on the west side of the map. There's only 2 tanks in it at the moment, in difference. Here's the T-100, he fires, but it's a bit late. It's just a bit late, that was. And the T-100 is taken out anyway. Okay, that FV4005 has come back, and he's been taken out. That means the scores are now level. 2 tank destroyers on the enemy team, a medium tank and an Arty. There's the one of the tank destroyers, the T-124, round in, splashes him for 350 and 2 critical hits. And there was a round just came in from the enemy Arty. Did you see that? The ground was kicked up next to the Object 261, and the SDRV-103 is also coming in defensive mode. Now, I suspect that 121, the enemy 121, which was last sighted in grid square H8, is not there anymore. He's actually on the cliff edge. There he is. Yes, he was there. I was right. He is actually on the cliff edge. And so mithe is taking a bead on him. He's going to fire around and a splash will kill him. No, he's gone behind the rock face. He knows how to be Arty safe. He knows full well if he comes out, and he's been taken out by the Leopard 1. Scores are still equal. Both got an Arty. Both have at least 1 tank destroyer. But mithe's team has that Leopard 1, that medium tank. And that could be quite important. Because you see both of the Artys, both of the tank destroyers on the enemy team are slow. The T-110E4, and I think the other one is a Jaeger, if I'm correct. No, it's an FV-215B, that's the Death Star. And they're not particularly fast, but the Leopard is a fast tank. And so is the SDRV. In fact, the SDRV is a very stealthy tank as well. Okay, they found the Death Star. There's the Death Star. Rounds out, directed, and he's got a fire. It went right into the engine bay, set fire to him. The T110E4 has come down from the cliff. He's trying to help his teammate and he's taken out the Leopard. But the STRV is taking it out on the T110E4. Now, can mithe get a shot into that T110E4? He's gone very defensive behind that rock now. Very defensive, but he can still splash him. And he's going to do that. He's going to keep splashing him to force him out from behind that rock. Otherwise, he is going to die there. And although the enemy Batchat can fire rounds in to try and upset mithe in his Object 261, he's not going to stop him. Keep pumping those shells into where the T110E4 is, and he's out. He's coming out. He knows he's in danger. Okay, he's using the rocks, rounds out, and he gets another shot right into the engine bay again on the T110E4. And he's only got one round left, mithe. One round. And it's taken out. The T110E4 was taken out by the STRV. This is good news. That means it's 2 against 1 now. Acting in a position of deficit, or acting at a disadvantage, they now have the advantage, and they're going to go hunting that Batchat. They're both working together, both going down the West Passage. Be sure that Batchat's going to be aimed in this direction when they come around the corner. And he is an autoloader, so it's very likely he's going to have 3 rounds available of 155mm ammunition to pump into them. But that probably won't be enough because mithe and the STRV are both fairly healthy. In fact, mithe's got 100% health. Now mithe's going directly up the far west side to try and look in the dip and see if he can find and shotgun the Batchat if he's in the dip. And he might be. He's going to find him. It should be shortly. No, he's not on that side of the dip. He's just going to have a quick look. He should have got a proximity hit if he was over on that side. He's not. The STRV is capping. Right, that's the 2-minute bell. And there's the enemy Arty. It's been spotted. Aim. Okay, he's aiming. Oh, that was a bit awkward. He's going for a manual aim instead. He shoots and he kills him. And he gets him 86 hit points. But he kills the enemy with a manual aim. And that was his last round of ammunition. So I think that means Fadin's. Let's have a look and see what the end of battle results are. And it's a second-class tanker for mithe in the Object 261. He picked up a bruiser medal for scoring at least 5 critical hits and module damages, crew incapacitations. And yes, he did get a Fadin's. It was his last round. It killed the last enemy. And so he picks up a Fadin's medal. They're very difficult to get hold of, but well done on getting that. And he got a Confederate because he hit more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. At least 6 tanks that was subsequently destroyed by other members of his team. And look at that list. It's a huge number of targets that he struck. Okay, let's have a look at the team scores. And he comes third on damage with 3,942 hit points, which is very, very reasonable given the battle. The STRV came top with 6,000 damage. That's very good indeed, very respectable. He came a little way down. He was 5th when it came to kills with only 1 kill. But that doesn't matter because when it comes to base XP, he came 2nd with 907 base experience points. If we look at the detailed report, he fired all 18 rounds in his magazine. He got 9 direct hits, 9 penetrations, 8 splash. he did damage of 3,942 hit points, of which 3,488 were at more than 300 meters. Obviously, the back chat was a lot closer, and so was that T110E4 when he hit that. He spotted one enemy vehicle. That was the back chat, and he damaged 10 of the enemy and killed one of them. He did stun assistance damage of 1,379, and he did 16 stuns. He also stopped also achieved 22 capture points on the enemy cap by the time he took out the bat chat. On a premium account, he earned 59,996 credits, and after deduction for auto repair, can't think why he lost that 17, but it may have been right at the start of the battle, and 24,000 for the ammunition. He did use a few premium rounds, so that's pretty reasonable. He takes away 35,679, which is very good. He earned XP of 1,361, but it was times 2 for the first victory of the day, and he had a personal reserves bonus running at the time, so he picked up an extra 681 XP off that. So he takes away a total of 3,403 XP in total. So well done indeed, Mithe. That was a very interesting battle. You did actually, although you knocked trees down, I think you were doing it on purpose to try and fox the bat chat and make him fire at targets where you weren't. I think it was you were selling a dummy to the enemy, and you did exactly the right thing during that battle. You played it like an expert would. So well done indeed. Nice to see a Fadins and a Confederate together. You were working hard. If you enjoyed this replay, please do give it a like and do subscribe to our channel, which is run for the benefit of the members. And hopefully I'll see you in the next replay.